broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
I wanna hold your hand. I wanna hold your hand. I wanna hold your hand.
Welcome back to AFTERBUZZ TV's Arrow After Show. Not just any show, it is the show to be watching after Arrow. I'm your host, Alikona Bradford. Yes, this one and no other. I'm Alikona Bradford. You can find me at BoysInBeauty01 on Twitter. Make sure you join us as co-hosts. All you have to do is hop into the hashtag. It's ABTV Arrow. We'll be checking it, so make sure you live tweet with us. Now, moving on to the gentleman I was holding hands with.
Ah, that would be me.
You,
I think.
yes.
Is there somebody else?
Maybe.
Are you a gentleman?
No, yeah, good call, good call. No, sorry about that.
Yeah, jury's out. Lex Michael, all over social media at the Lex Michael, and the gentle creature to my left.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, I'm Tauri Miller. You can find me at Tauri J, Tauri-Jay. I'm the majestic madam to my left.
Oh, hey, I'm majestic. That is a step up from the usual descriptors I get.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Katie Cullen. You can find me on Twitter at Kiaxet. That's Kiaxet, and I'm talking about descriptors that people in the comments occasionally give me, not any of you lovely human beings.
Oh, okay.
And I do want to jump in right now and let everybody listening know that our show today is being brought to you by Casper mattresses. Now, guys, those crazy kids on Team Arrow make a lot of very questionable decisions, and who can blame them? They spend so much
Sky
time...
blue, water wet.
Well, they spend so much time fighting for the fate of the city, nay, the world, that they're probably exhausted. I think what they need is a good night's rest. I think what they need is a Casper mattress. Now, you guys can go check out a Casper mattress of your very own by going to Casper.com. Now, let me tell you about these mattresses, because these are no ordinary mattresses, my friends. No, this mattress was named one of the best inventions of 2015 by Time magazine. It is a single, perfect mattress for any and all sleepers. It is engineered, science, guys. It is engineered for supportive comfort that guarantees you a great night's sleep. This dual-layered pillow contains nearly 1 billion microfibers that adapt as you move and keep you supported and cool throughout the night. That is some Curtis Holt, Ray Palmer type science. Casper will ship you this mattress.
It works.
There's that. Casper will ship you this mattress for free, and you can try it in your own home for 100 nights. And if after those 100 nights you are not completely satisfied with your sleeping experience, you can return it and you will get every penny back. So, my recommendation to you is don't be like Team Arrow. You sleep off your hard work so you don't make these questionable decisions. Go to Casper.com, use the promo code AFTERBUZZTV for $50 towards the purchase of your mattress. Get a good night's rest before you go out and you fire your arrows at people. And, maybe you won't create a terrible power vacuum that will threaten the world potentially in season 5.
You were so close to sticking the landing.
No, I started thinking about how badly these guys need Casper.com. Guys, go, check it out, use the promo code AFTERBUZZTV, $50 off. Casper.com.
The landing stuck. This is why we have you do this.
Wait,
sir.
100 nights, guaranteed satisfaction. Does my mattress come with Stephen Amell?
I wish.
Well, then I don't know how satisfying.
Terms and conditions may apply.
All right, so now that we've gotten that done, let's talk about the show. Oh, by the way, P.S. I liked your pony paws in the intro.
Why,
the
thank
unicorn
you.
paws.
Yeah.
High five. From a distance, too.
Bam.
All right, so the first thing
Oh
I
my
want to
God.
talk about is Thea and her situation, because it's obviously not a good situation, and we have Nyssa trying to hold that over everybody, and using the word husband at least 895 throughout the opening scene, which was not appreciated.
Chat was talking about how people on Twitter were making that a drinking game, And I really hope that everyone
That's
on Twitter
funny.
was doing that with a buddy who is now called the hospital. And God, because seriously, guys, that is alcohol poisoning levels of husband. Like, no.
Yeah, that was weird. My sister-in-law, of course I care about her. Shut your face.
Look at all the... Behold the field in which I grow my... I can't quote that. It's profane. You'll notice that it's barren.
Well, it did feel a little bit this week and last week that we tripped and fell backwards into season 3 a little bit.
Yeah. But we're skipping to the end. I'm doing the thing. It's going to be great. Talking about her disbanding the league and basically going, I've had a change of heart. We don't need the league. Everyone is free. I'm no longer under my father's. Like, oh no.
She took Laurel's speech and she ran with it.
Is it bad that I'm sitting here going, Malcolm probably had a much better idea of what was going on behind the scenes here, and Oliver was the big dumb moose that just ran over this very complicated machinery and broke the hell out of it? Like, I don't know if anyone reads Dresden Files, but all I can think of is changes when the Red Court went down and all of these monsters zooming in to try to fill that global power vacuum. And that is going to be an ugly, ugly situation. And I think that's set up for season 5 because they talked about being in the Guggenheim on his Tumblr talked about being in the writer's room and already tossing around ideas. There's no way they can resolve something that big in what we have left of the season. So I really think that that's what we're going to be dealing with for season 5, is all of these assorted God knows what popping up to try to bloodily take over the position that the League of Assassins has vacated.
Yeah, I would hope that this is something that's picked up in a big way later on, because the complete dissolve of the League of Assassins seems like far, far too massive a plot point to just skate over. And okay, look, this is coming fairly shortly after, like, okay, like we just ice Amanda Waller like that, you know what I mean? So maybe there's a part of me in the back of my head that's going, oh, really? Are we just going to like ice the entire league as a concept just as quickly? I hope not, because the ramifications of that should be massive. Right. Absolutely massive.
Ryan Watallison in chat, thank you, Ryan, we adore you, pointed out the world is now full of fully trained assassins with no job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing. Malcolm even brought up the fact when he was trying to convince Oliver, hey, like, there will be a huge imbalance. You don't know what the hell you're doing. And, you know, Oliver's talking about, because, you know, Oliver's heart is always in his family, right? And so his big thing is, I don't want to take her father away from her. That's one situation. And then the other one is just trying to do right by people and not kill people. And Malcolm's like, dude, like, I don't think you understand. When you give Nyssa this power, she's not in her right mind. Sweetheart, you're a little ignorant, I would have thought.
I mean, but you gotta admire the idealism. I mean, and
to a point.
Yes, to a point. I mean, if Oliver had gone fully through all of the processes and had it not been cut short, or him giving the title to Merlin, like, he would have done the exact same thing. So it's only just a person removed. I think that, I mean, I love the drama that it's going to cause. So from an audience standpoint, I'm just grabbing my popcorn.
Sure, but
yeah, go ahead.
No, but like you say, like, Oliver was probably going to do the same thing, and we talked, I believe, about how terrible an idea it was then, and why. Like, yeah, in that situation, giving that power to Malcolm Merlin is essentially the lesser of two evils. And I understand, yes, everybody, they said it out loud tonight, everybody's backed into a corner. They had to make some really tough calls. It seems like we actually maybe learned something at the end of last season that we've completely forgotten about, maybe?
Yeah. I mean,
you expect him to keep everything consistent.
Well, and look, again, Tauri, I agree with you completely. Like, I love the fact that this is going to cause, we're seeing the beginnings of the massive fallout of this, and I think we're going to see it on a personal level before we see, you know, whatever big assassin factions start killing each other in the streets. One thing that I got really stuck on, because we haven't been addressing it too much until recently again, came up in this episode a number of times, because they're really talking about we have to deal with Malcolm a couple of times. Yeah, like Oliver's going, you know, he killed Tommy, he killed Sarah. I've never hated anybody as much as I hate Malcolm Merlin. And I'm going, you have him over a lot. Yeah. Like, for a dude you really don't like you guys seem to hang out a bunch.
Here's the thing, though. Wait, okay, this is actually something I wanted to bring up. The thing is he obviously obviously has daddy issues. We've gone over that. We went over that in the flashback. We've gone over it in other situations. And his whole thing is I don't want to take Thea's dad. And I get that if there is no Thea, then what's the point? But obviously him being optimistic, he thinks there will be a Thea, right?
Right.
So there was a point to me bringing all this up. So we see throughout the episode and throughout this season, Malcolm trying to prove how much he really loves Thea. And throughout the beginning of this episode, he's coming to visit her, and he keeps on stating, I will do anything for my daughter. I will do anything for her. How much of that do you guys really, really buy into, especially with the slight third quarters of the ending and him arriving with his homies to try to start some shit?
I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. Like, seriously. It's sad when I think that Malcolm is the one making the best decisions here, but he kind of is. I mean, this is like a red letter date, you guys. I'm agreeing with Merlin on something. This is messed up. But if he is the one that understands the ramifications and the reach of the League of Assassins, if he's done his homework, if he knows what they affect and how they affect it, then he is very much choosing the needs of the many over the needs of the few. Understanding that being the head of an organization with that much power and influence means that sometimes you need to put your duty ahead of your family. So it's an awful, awful decision to make, but from what I can tell, he's doing it for, and I hate this phrase because Hot Fuzz burned it into me, but the greater good.
The greater good.
Exactly.
So wait, hold on. Speaking of that, and there was a little bit of street fighting. Obviously, we had the League and their split differences on the streets, shooting arrows and blah, blah, blah. And the time, 2 fights I want to bring up. One is when Malcolm shows up with his peeps, and you got Nyssa and her peeps, and she's like, there will be war, and all of a sudden everybody breaks into a fight, but somehow everyone conveniently finds a partner and fights. It's never a 2-on-2 or uneven, like we're all going to kill him at once and kill him at once because it makes more sense. It's, find somebody. Oh, okay, you look good. Let's sword fight.
Yeah,
grab your partner, do-si-do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other thing was when they did that on the street, and you see all these hooded people in black going at it, I'm all, how do you determine which League member is on your side and which is on her side? I am confused.
Oh, well,
Do you watch Gallivant?
No.
They had an episode that was giants versus dwarves, but they were all normally sized people, so they were occasionally beating up the wrong person. It's like, that's kind of what this is.
Yeah.
If you're an outsider, you can't tell.
I mean, they got the things on, and the things, like, is there a little button that says I'm on Malcolm's side? Like, how the hell do you
A little
know?
campaign button for Nyssa.
Yeah.
I'm with the revolution. It's the Mockingjay pin.
No, but I like the idea that it's a little button, but it doesn't say anything. It's like a picture of Barrowman smiling.
There you go.
It's like, that's how I know. Oh, you're one of mine.
Okay, don't, yeah.
I would wear that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I would wear a little pin with Barrowman smiling.
And
Yes,
then the
please.
other side has a picture of Nyssa scowling.
That works too. Hey, really quick, to my engineer, do you mind if we pull up the hashtag so that way we can see it on the big screen, if you can, please?
It makes it fun and interesting. There's
Or maybe she's...
Hashtag.
Oh, there she is. Hashtag ABTV Arrow. So, co-host, now's your chance. We're going to pull up the hashtag. So if you have anything to say, you can pipe in now and join us. In the meantime, let's talk a bit about the show. It looks like someone's already...
Sylvia in chat said some guy left his girlfriend at the outdoor table when the attack started. That is either an extra who didn't know they're blogging or the biggest dick in the universe.
Or there's an amazing story going on there where that dude was like, they found me and bailed. And we're never going to know that guy's story.
Okay, guys, fan fiction writers out there, tell me that story.
Dude, maybe he was one of the candle lighters that actually got free, and he sees this starting to happen.
Is that
and he's
Bob?
like, no! And he books it. Because he knows, man, they come for the candle lighters
Right.
first.
I lit all the lamps God, what were we calling it? The temporary lair, the IKEA furnished
Which I
whatever.
believe we returned to
Do you think
today?
they have Casper
Yeah.
mattresses in there?
I
no,
would hope-
the assassins
no.
don't sleep.
Yeah, they don't sleep at all, but they should. They'd be a more efficient fighting force if they went to Casper.com and used the promo code AFTERBUZZ TV. Now that you mention it. But yeah, we saw this warehouse
is back.
again. So,
do they just?
well, I like to
I
think.
the lease on the warehouse. It still says Al Ghul in the last name. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Well, I like to think that Nyssa inherited it when her father died.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah.
sure, let's go with that.
Yeah.
They also have a rooftop with a brazier that does purple flames, which brazier. How do you pronounce
Oh, it's like
that?
brazier?
Yeah.
Wait,
Everyone
brazier?
was
What's
wearing
going on?
neon
I did the
bras.
thing. It's real smart.
Go ahead, Tauri. You want to say
It's a
something?
super long day, you guys.
Nope.
All right.
Oh, good night, everybody.
It's just keeping
Alright.
score.
Yeah.
Never mind. All right, cool. What else did I want to talk about? We talked about the imbalance, the city fight, where no one could tell who was on whose team. So Oliver has a little plan of his own, right? Because everyone's like, kill Malcolm, this and that. And I didn't know who was going to be on whose side because everybody has their own ploy and their own plot and what have you. And you got Laurel trying to work with Nyssa, and, she has her speech about be free. We know how that ends.
Right.
Anyway, the point is when we get to the rooftop fight, and all of a sudden, hubby decides to step in and be like, well, since she's my wife, I'm like, no, I'll just fight for her. I'm like, oh.
She was the one saying, my husband of mine. So it's like, okay, this is kind of hilariously, awfully misogynistic, but she set it up herself.
Yeah.
Oh.
She also openly admitted that she knew that she wouldn't be able to win if she were to fight Malcolm. But she sure did go in there with the team player face like, yep, let's do this.
Well, and Malcolm also walked in like, you realize this is her death, but sure, great, let's do the thing. And
What?
Oliver kind of, by the way.
Yeah, well, the rules, as I understood them, seem to dictate that really one of the combatants needs to yield. I would imagine in most of these situations, they either really want power or are incredibly prideful or both. So I imagine in most of these fights, someone dies. I don't think typically anyone yields.
Right.
So Oliver's plan actually works because Malcolm, he didn't yield willingly, but it works ultimately. I do like also the thought that kept going through my head. Last night on The Flash, there was a very specific reference when Vibe is talking to Reverb on Earth 2, and he says, "Are you Darth Vader on Bespining me right now?" And I like that this episode ended with Oliver, Darth Vader, on Bespining Malcolm.
Yes.
Yeah,
Very much
pretty
so.
much.
That pleased me.
I didn't see that coming though. I was like, oh, is this where Malcolm dies? Oh, he's gonna die now. Oh, he has one arm.
I'm just kind of howling because I watch Ruby and things occurred on Ruby that I was never expecting this weekend, and it's like,
Did they disband the League of Assassins?
They did. It was
no,
really weird.
there were like 3 different arm situations in this past episode of Ruby, and it's just like, oh my god, it's in all of my media.
It's
that
not.
time.
I found it a little
It's National
alarming.
Arm Appreciation Week. There's a National Everything for Everything hashtag.
I
so-
appreciate my arms.
Yeah,
I
me too.
found it alarming.
Oh.
Yeah, really put my finger on that
Yeah.
one.
Oh, wow.
All right, start the music.
AfterBuzz TV.
Katie, you want to hop into the hashtag? It seems like we're having issues with our big screen. So if you can do that, let's talk a little bit about Felicity while you're looking for that.
Vern did make a joke about the sound of one hand clapping. Bless you. Just bless you.
Most
of the hashtag is of the hashtag is just jokes about who would hire someone with only assassin on their resume, and does Nyssa give good references?
You know
That's
who
most
might?
of what it is. And Stephanie Omer asking about any thoughts on Nyssa's
Damien Dark.
sidekick
Yeah,
who
really.
rescued her. Who the heck is? Oh, who the heck? Does she have a name?
Who?
The girl with the,
The
dreads.
sidekick.
Yeah.
The person who gave her the stuffed pepper and then
I don't
got
know.
her out.
Oh, my favorite part
Who
that
the
was when
heck
Nyssa was
that?
like, and then all of a sudden everyone's like,
Yeah.
It's like clap on assassins.
right?
No, they rehearsed that for 2 hours.
Unfortunately, Merlin can't do that anymore.
He'll
He could
stomp
be
his
like-
foot.
Hey guys!
Oh man. Oh
There you
no.
go.
No?
Oh no.
No.
Oh god.
It could happen.
He's a little more of a hands-off person nowadays.
God, stop it. No, but for real though, if you're an unemployed assassin in a city that is now teeming with unemployed assassins on a planet because of the size of the League of Assassins that is now presumably teeming with unemployed assassins, if I'm Damien Dark, I start mass hiring.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
I'm also kind of expecting the assassins to form different gangs like the Jets and the Sharks and just kind of...
Dance in the streets, like waving their swords around and whatnot.
Yeah!
hold please. Let's just talk about how Malcolm Merlin knew about Oliver Queen's son, William.
To be fair,
He knows how to put his ear against doors.
Oh yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Good call.
I was gonna say he's Ra's al Ghul, but also the door
that's a
thing.
better
The door. And again, they seem to hang out with this guy they hate a lot.
Well, in his defense, he just shows up.
He does!
Yeah.
He
That's
just-
true. I do feel like every
got
group
nothing.
has that friend.
Who just shows up out of nowhere and it's like,
we
hey,
hate
you guys
this
got
guy,
pizza?
but like he's useful. He's got the connects, man. We gotta just keep hanging out with this guy. But man, I really don't like him. This dude's killed 2 of our friends already. I don't feel good about this.
Yeah, but now that he's hooking up with Damien, this is a situation.
Alicia Perez wants to know if we think Malcolm's going to get a hook for a hand.
Oh man.
I hope it's a crossbow. That'd be nice.
Oh my god, I'm just thinking of Ash versus the Evil Dead where he just kind of puts the chainsaw on there and calls it good.
Well, I'm thinking, what do they do with the hand? And maybe the hand will grow another Malcolm? And is it a good Malcolm or a more evil Malcolm?
I was gonna say, which Malcolm do we have now? Who's the Earth 2 version? Oh my god, who is the Earth 2 version of Malcolm Merlin?
Oh, P.S. Speaking of that, though, the part that stood out to me was when, I think Oliver and Nyssa were having the conversation about the fact that Nyssa kept holding Thea's life over everything, and she wasn't willing to see past her wants and her needs, and she just, whatever, the potion, we might give it to her, we may not, just give me what I want, it's my leverage.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And one of the things that he had said to her was, lost my train of thought. That's exactly what he had said to her.
Something about being beholden to her dad.
No,
Or
that was Laurel. That was Laurel. Oh shoot! I had a really good thought, guys. I'm so sorry.
Is it in your notes?
My head just.
He made that super pensive face he always makes and went, I forget. But then he did a salmon ladder and no one minded.
No,
Where
and
has
we
that
have
been?
Cough
It's in the
2009
grave.
in the chat saying, what about the Vandal Savage ashes? Malcolm was in the crossover. That's true. They brought his rear in on that noise.
So maybe he opens the urn and dips his stump in there, and
Oh,
he gets a new
God.
hand made out of Vandal Savage.
No, he gets an infection.
Ew.
Yeah.
That's unpleasant. That's really my fault, though.
I don't know what you were expecting.
Yeah,
with that.
I did. I opened that jar.
What do you think that Vandal Savage is a vampire?
Oh, we're back.
He's just gonna revive?
And we're back. What's happening?
Now. Okay, so Oliver had said, you owe this to Thea because she is in this position because of your father. Like, your father is the one that killed her in the first place. It's the reason she had the bloodlust. Like, this whole situation happened because of your father. And then she turns it around and said, well, actually, all this happened because of her father. Because if none of this would have happened if Malcolm didn't stick his nose in all this situation. And I was like, ooh, burn.
Well, yeah, and we've known that for a good long while, and it's just kind of something that you shove under the rug for plot convenience. We need the jerks, so we're just gonna roll with it.
Wait, hold on. I like that
Unfortunately.
Alicia Perez says that Oliver needs to get divorce papers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
But
yeah,
I
why have you let
feel
that go?
like-
And how are you going to get married to Felicity if you're technically married?
Well,
It's only in the
that
eyes of the
marriage-
league.
Exactly, the league that no longer exists.
Oh, good point. Good
True.
point.
Yeah, I don't think that's legally binding at all.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, let's just talk about
Legally
that too.
Now, like a certain portion of those assassins now practice divorce law.
Oh, God.
Well, no, I was just going to say, there was a small little section we got of Oliver and Felicity deciding that now is the time to get married, which makes me wonder what's going to be well, never mind, I already know what's going to be the thing that's going to stop that real quick.
Like, we finally pulled something out of the crossover, and we're using it in the series proper. That never happens.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
It got used a lot tonight.
It really did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But by the way, you have a kid. By the way, he has a kid. By the way, he makes terrible choices depending on, his family. So, do the thing. Here you go. I'm surprised that Malcolm went for the kid angle and not for the, by the way, Oliver and the Arrow are the same person.
Well, you know what I thought, though? I honestly thought, before he said his son, I thought he was going to say Thea. And if he did, I was going to be like, oh, you are truly a butthole. But obviously he does, I guess, love Thea.
I don't think the two are mutually
He's not gonna
exclusive.
throw Thea under the bus to get to Oliver, because that's completely counterproductive to literally everything that just happened.
Yeah.
I have my kid back. I'm not going to mess that up for no reason.
Right.
I just thought it was interesting, too, that... Okay, look, and I don't want to offend any parents out there, right? But... Oliver doesn't have any relationship to his son whatsoever, except for finding out that genetically he has donated his soldiers to create this being. He's met him once and hung out with him. Well, a couple times if he's gone to the crossover.
I'd imagine if he's going back and forth.
But for Malcolm to say, and again, this is a parent thing, he loves William more than he loves Felicity. but you haven't even known him as long. You don't have that bond in that relationship. Maybe equally or love the idea of knowing that you have a son, and as a parent, you're supposed to love your child more than anything in life. But to throw that in to Damien Dark and be like, well, this is what you can hold over him because he loves him more than anyone. What?
The other thing is the kid is helpless and unprotected.
Well, it's
Felicity was neither.
Right.
Yeah, and there was a conversation going on in the chat actually before we got rolling, talking about the son's not going to be in the grave, William's not going to be in the grave, they're not going to kill a kid, and someone else pointed out, did you see the first 5 minutes of Legends of Tomorrow? Because they definitely murdered a small child on screen.
Straight up opens with Vandal Savage killing a little boy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And,
with a sword, wasn't it?
And we've established that Damien Dark and Vandal Savage, if not the most close of bosom buddies, at least hang out in the same circles.
They talk, they rub elbows.
I would not put it past Damien Dark to murder a child.
We also killed the kid last season.
Oh yeah, little nugget in Japan.
And he suffocated and
Yes.
Yeah, we didn't even kill him
was
pleasantly.
drawn out.
Like it was it was grim.
How do you kill someone pleasantly? I feel like that's a contradiction of terms.
Really slowly with pillows, like you just don't go
Over
anywhere. Yeah, just hang on.
While feeding them cotton
So
candy.
you annoy them to death.
Yeah, they just give up after a while.
Well, speaking of children, let's talk about Felicity, the child of the calculator.
Ooh.
Good transition.
I accept your segue.
Thank you. Anyways, so 18 years gone by, she's seeing Daddy, and I thought it was really interesting. I feel like there was a point to Mama Smoak saying that people don't change, and I thought that was in terms of Malcolm, and that's why she blatantly just said that to make some sort of theme happen. But anyways, outside of that, really upset that Dad came and planted this little seed in Palmer Technology, but at the same time when Felicity invited him there, I was like, what is she doing? I'm so confused. Mom just warned you, and you just openly invited this dude into your work area, and then you're talking about Mr. Terrific. You're just giving him reason to want Mr. Terrific on your team. What are you doing?
She wanted her dad to place his relationship with her over, look at all the secrets I can steal.
Right.
Like it was a very clear test, and like she said, he failed with flying colors.
It was a massive relief that it was all intentional on her part, because that seemed, especially for
Felicity.
especially for Felicity, who is, as we've discussed at length, the smart one. It would seem like a huge misstep to not only bring him to the R&D department, but also that's on many floors on top of the secret Arrow lair. Like, you don't want him anywhere near that building, but it was nice to see that she actually had a motive and that it paid off in a way that I felt was fairly emotionally satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Though I would have liked to have seen the father pass that test. Like, I would have liked to see them kind of building this relationship. We know he's a can I say scumbag on here?
Yeah.
He's a scoundrel.
He's vagabond.
But I mean, I like her. Not that I like her turmoil, but like I felt like it was acted very well. Like I think Felicity's whole arc this episode was good.
Yeah, of course.
Well, and
I loved her mom just going into complete serious business mode. It was like flipping a switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was well acted. I thought that was great. Like, yes, go Mama Smoak.
Well, and two, like we talked a little bit as well about this argument or this line of thinking that came from Mama Smoak about how people don't change, that Felicity really seems to have taken to heart. And you hear Oliver later in the episode say, well, you know, maybe some people can, but we see in this episode Felicity make a very firm, very drastic decision based on her belief that no, people don't in fact change. Now, if, as we have theorized, this line of thinking might tie into maybe revelations about Oliver having a kid and so on and so forth, seeing her make this decision, I think, is a great way to set up that she's not going to be so easily swayed from whatever position that she takes later.
Well, also, too, in the whole people don't change, the person that she's saying that to is Oliver Queen, the former killer who's been trying to step out of the shadows of himself for so long. So to say that to him, and he's already living with all this guilt about all these things, I'm like, maybe not the right person to say
Maybe
that.
I do feel though,
Oliver
like
Queen, who basically has lived lies for the past God knows how many years, and is trying really hard not to do that anymore, but is still sitting on a very large lie.
yeah, and when your best argument in your own defense is, well, I don't kill people anymore. You just nod. You just go,
Anymore. Also, we've had like 3 people point out in the chat that the lair is no longer under Palmer Tech.
Oh.
It's under the campaign. I keep forgetting that too.
But to be fair, right?
We
they
moved
still
it twice.
We moved it twice, and also, yeah, even if you strip the entire place, somebody who knows if the calculator can put together that she's Overwatch and that Overwatch works with Team Arrow, and he finds this giant space under the I don't know.
Yeah, let's talk about that moment, though. That was actually I didn't think he was going to come out and say it that quickly, and I didn't think that he'd put it together that quickly, but it also does make sense as to why he now wants to be affiliated with her.
Well, and she's only just recently gotten into the nickname as well. I'm sure there's records of her being Felicity and doing all of this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But I also think, too, that there was a really interesting layer of pride when he confronts her about that, because they've had no relationship, and I do think on some level, yeah, he's not a great Noah, the calculator, not a great guy, not an altogether terrific father. I do think, you know, having been distanced from his daughter for the greater part of her life, to come back and reunite with her and to find, oh, you're doing the same stuff that I'm doing. You're doing it for different reasons, but you're doing the same type of stuff that I'm doing, and you're really good at it. Oh, sweetheart. You know what I mean? Like that was a little bit fun for me. It was, you know, creepy, and like any sense of pride for Noah is completely unearned, but I liked that color.
What really got me, and this just about killed me, was Felicity talking to him about when I was a little kid. I thought I was broken. I was trying to figure out what was wrong with me, because that's what you do when your parent abandons you. And I'm like, oh no, this was the exact same line of thought she had when Oliver wasn't visiting. Am I broken?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, at least
That was a great little callback that hurt my heart. Well done.
Yeah.
Well
Raise your
done.
kids, folks.
You were going to say a thing.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I mean, did any of you guys feel bad for the dad in any way? Like, I kind of felt bad for him when he was getting arrested, mostly because, like, there's a part of me that wanted him to want to actually be in her life for non-selfish reasons. We have established that it wasn't that, but, like, I feel like I could respect a guy trying to get back into his daughter's life.
Yeah, but he wanted to have his cake and eat it too.
Right.
If he was going to really say, yes, I want to be a part of your life, yes, I want to do this, then I'm also going to have my little criminal organization and steal from you on the side. Like, no, this is not a Venn diagram overlap. This does not work.
Right.
So, yeah, I would feel bad for him if he hadn't failed the test.
Right.
Yeah, if I feel bad, and I do feel a little bad, but if I feel bad, it's more because his intentions are not particularly solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who else failed horribly this episode?
Pick one.
Diana.
So you're in a cell. Even if you don't hold the voodoo nightmare rock out real far so that your arm can be grabbed,
What were you thinking?
the second he knows you have it, where are you going to go with it exactly?
You're in a cell.
Yeah.
That was dumb. The whole situation was dumb, and she was totally reacting off of emotion, and the fact that she can't see past her own emotion and actually listen to Oliver, understandable. She doesn't want to believe that her brother could be this horrible person, but come on now, you know the situation you're in. You know there are people in control of you with guns. Why is that situation not possible? And, I don't know, that's how I feel.
Well, right, and it'd be different if they're trapped there with relatively nice people, or at least a relatively sane
people.
bunch of people.
Yeah.
But even if you're wildly overcome with emotions and you're not totally thinking straight, did you forget who these people are that you've been running from for...
I think it's the not thinking straight thing, because I don't know, again, we don't know a lot about her backstory before Oliver showed back up on the island and met her. But she did just lose her brother, and I'm assuming that either that is the first person she's lost or that is the last person she had. And so she's not dealing with it very well. You know, Oliver didn't deal with stuff very well at the beginning either. So he still doesn't.
Yeah.
So I can't really blame her. like, you get a lot of leeway from that. And let's face it, Oliver is really, really bad at explaining things.
Oh, sure.
Doesn't matter. It's all my fault. I killed him. Yeah, thanks, bro.
Yeah, but at the same time, okay, you're in the situation with this dude who has a little bit more knowledge of what it's like to be in these situations, whether they've discussed it or not. You have no experience in this situation, so for you to take the rock and try to take control and be like, "Foo you, this is my plan now, go get Ryder." What were you going to do when he got there? What were you really going to do?
Not thinking straight, wants to be away from the person who killed her brother.
But if he wanted to do anything to her, I mean, it has nothing to do with her fearing her own life, but if he wanted to do something to her, he could have done it a long time ago.
Well, I mean, she may have been trying to buy herself from being a prisoner into being back into a more outside picking position. So, I mean, it's an upgrade from where she currently is, which is confined with the killer of her brother.
But, okay, if you don't know how to fight, I'm just going to assume that Diana's not much of a fighter. When they release you out of the cage and you have this rock, what makes you think that someone's not going to just grab it from you or chop your arm off?
Well, no,
and just take the rock from you and then kill you.
No, she was just it was just to get her out of the prison. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't. She wasn't gonna fight them.
Why wouldn't they kill her after they got her out of the prison and got the rock?
Because she's still good labor.
Why wouldn't they kill her first?
She wasn't thinking past step one
Clearly,
in this plan.
shoot her
because
while
this
she's
is
in the cage, then get the rock.
This is a very emotionally fueled, it's part of the bad decision conga line, but I can't blame her given all of the things that have happened to her that have led up to this point.
Yes, I'll put it this way. If this happened to somebody in the real world, I would fall back on that. I would go, well, all right, clearly they have no reason to be thinking straight right now. The fact that I'm at a remove from it, I suppose, maybe, is just, I'm just a little flabbergasted. It's fine. It'll be great. It'll be great.
See, because we're looking at a fictional world, we can see the narrative and we can see kind of story arcs and we know our tropes and all of that fun stuff.
Of course.
So it's very easy to sit here and look at this decision that this fictional character has made and say, oh no, it should be this. Oh no, this would be smarter. Because we have that extra layer of removal because we know that they're not real.
Yeah.
Again, if you got someone in real life doing this, you're like, yeah. No, yeah.
Well, yeah, I know,
because everyone
agree.
makes really stupid emotional decisions.
Yeah.
And this is a horrific emotions that she's dealing with. And it's a very sudden betrayal from someone she trusted and I think might have loved.
Yeah, fair.
Can't blame her.
No, you know what? And yes, I agree with you. I really can't either. I feel like it speaks a little bit to the idea that we need, or if not need, strongly desire our fiction to make sense in a way that reality doesn't necessarily. Yeah. But no, I could definitely see that. It's really frustrating, though.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah. Watching this entire show is an exercise in frustration if you expect anyone to have a modicum of common sense.
It's Felicity, and that's it. And sometimes Diggle. Unless Andy's involved, and then not Diggle.
And then, it's a CW show. I mean, we really know what we're getting into here. It's a CW flavored comedy.
It is. It's so much.
No,
we do.
We adore it, but holy cow, they're stupid.
It's a little. Yeah. It's like, don't get me wrong. I'm sitting here because I love the show.
If everybody made smart decisions, wow.
No, take it again.
If everybody made smart decisions, this would not be an interesting show.
It could still be an interesting show because then you've got. Well, I hesitate to use Death Note as an example of people making smart decisions with their lives.
Take a chip and eat it.
God damn it! But there's a big difference between people making dumb decisions and that makes the plot move forward, and two people who are on the same intellectual level, matching each other beat for beat, and essentially playing Xanatos speed chess. Like, it would be a very different show if everyone were smart. But then it wouldn't be the show that we're watching.
Well, I mean, at its core, it's a soap opera, and the way that the beats happen are very soap opera-y. It's you know, we need to make sure that this relationship happens, and so we have people be very conflicty based on just their interactions as opposed to what's happening around them. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's shed a lot of that kind of nature as it's grown, and so now we're getting a lot more story oriented driving, but like it's still in the roots. people don't change, guys.
Sure, but and look,
Oliver changed.
I do like the idea that this can move us, especially when we're talking about the flashbacks, this can move us from the place that we're at right now. And because you see, Ryder has a very big reaction to this rock.
Oh, yeah.
So,
oh my god, a giant rock!
it was like, ooh, that's very pretty. I'm going to put it in my Zen garden.
And dibs.
But I do like the idea that it can take us from the place that we're at and hopefully put us on a path towards a bit of an end game, or at least because we've seen the flashbacks pretty consistently since the beginning of the series tie thematically into what's going on in the present, and sometimes it takes a little bit longer than others for us to arrive at that point. So I do like the idea that this can maybe point us there.
Because Oliver's been on the island dealing with Ryder for like
A long
2
time.
weeks. Like in
feels
I
like
hesitate
a
to
long
say in
time.
character time. In Arrow time, it can't have been super long. I feel like he's been there a month to at most. He has not been there months upon months upon months for this to happen. I feel like this is a plot that if we shoved all of it together, if we put all the flashbacks together, would be developing extremely quickly.
Sure.
Right.
So
Yeah,
I feel like we got 5 years on the island. This season covered 2 months of them.
Sure.
Speaking of quickly, we have run out of time. Very, very quickly. It's starting to get late in the evening. So we're going to start wrapping it up. We're going to prepare our news. That's always fun.
TV News.
Alright guys, so I've been talking to Echo Cullen via Twitter, and he's still interested in coming on the show. Keep tweeting at him to remind him, but apparently his schedule this month is pretty hectic, and he's hoping to come in March. So, cross your fingers and tweet him a lot. Tell him how amazing AFTERBUZZ is and how he has to come here.
That would
That
be
way he won't
terrific.
forget.
And that's my ride, everybody.
Anyways, so you guys know I love fun pictures, and since Echo is the topic of this, I thought I would just make him our entire news situation. So
What
anyways,
is going on here?
He's well, you know, he
He's
looks
working
great
it.
in pink. Actually,
Cool.
he's a huge improver. Upright Citizens
Yes.
Brigade, a few other groups that he's been part of. But anyways,
Tara's like, yes, I've
I
heard
would
that.
assume that that's what this picture is from. Oh, and then this picture.
Him and Tom Lennon?
Well, the actual reason why I pulled it up is I did not realize that Echo Cullen is 6'4". And I was like, holy cow, he is a big dude. So I tried to find a picture of him standing next to another average-sized gentleman.
Okay.
And that's what came up.
Oh, Tom Lennon.
Nice.
He's
the pinnacle of average size, I suppose.
I don't know. Anyways,
That's what it says on his resume.
let's go to our next picture. I don't know what is going on, but we see that he is sitting here with, not Felicity. It could be a Felicity
Emily.
moment, or it could be an Emily moment. I'm gonna assume it's an Emily
Oh,
moment.
this is, but they did that bungee thing.
Oh, is that what that is?
Together.
I was like, did they go skydiving?
No, they did this. This was,
Yeah.
they must have done a selfie when they were shooting that episode.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I was like, she's got great lipstick on for skydiving, but now I
Real
know
quick,
it's part of the
we
show.
have an answer.
What?
The woman helping Nyssa is Messy Natifa, M-E-S-I Natifa, from the Arrow 2.5 comics. Mark confirmed it on Tumblr. Thank you, Book Nessa.
Nice.
That's
Aw,
super helpful.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
then it is from the comics, but it is from the comics that specifically spun out of the TV series.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so this picture, I don't know, I just thought was hilarious because they just both look evil, very, very evil, and they have big mouths. I don't know what Echo is doing on this toilet full of tissue paper.
It's a nest.
Newspaper, but he's sitting on there, and I just thought it was funny.
Echo
Okay.
Kellum is a bird.
Next,
Oh.
do we have any more pictures or is it video? It's probably video. So while the video is pulling up, I will say this. I got this from an older interview, but I just thought it was worth talking about. Somebody interviewed him and said, you know, in this version, Mr. Terrific is also an LGBT character. How does this shape who he is? And I loved his response. He said, I think it shapes who he is only that's who he chooses to love. He's married, he has a husband, but it's not the most defining quality about him. It's important, but he's a living, breathing character who happens to be gay. Rarely do people live their lives through their sexuality. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well said.
Echo. Okay, and then this video is part of I believe this is part of the indie film? No. He was baking. That's what it is. Baking with Hollywood stars. So anyways, check it out.
Oh, cool. You are about to love what I created for you today. It might be your favorite dessert ever.
Okay, I'm ready for this.
Are you ready?
I am so ready for this.
You look ready.
I am ready.
Close your eyes.
Okay,
if
my
you're
eyes
ready.
are closed right now.
He's adorable.
Open them.
This is before he booked the role.
Those are freaking
But he
sweet.
loves comics.
Dude, you totally turned me into a comic book, and wow, I said this, and now I'm saying it on a comic channel.
Cullen
So,
with
can I try
kindness.
one?
Absolutely.
So, but I love when he starts
Right.
eating them because he is so into this cupcake.
Oh my god, there's ice cream in this.
Just all
Oh my
over
god,
his
this
face.
is so good.
Do love it.
I'm not gonna lie, I might be shipping me and Echo Kellum a little bit right now.
I think I was shipping Echo on that cupcake.
Anyway, so that's that. The next one is the actual indie film. We won't watch the whole thing because it's 6 minutes, but it was pretty funny, the beginning. And it's basically it's his hangover that's an actual person that's following him around.
Oh my god, yes. This is like if Google was a guy.
That's a great series.
It is.
Oh,
Oh, that's classy.
yeah. No, we've all had that.
Speak for yourself. Oh my god.
Hi, I'm Charles. I'll be your hangover today.
Oh my god.
David is using the palm tree motif to symbolize the protagonist's quest for tranquility.
Really? Now, see, I assumed it was more about contrasting nature with the lifelessness of the entertainment.
We must be reading different novels here because to me, I think the palm tree was representing.
All right, nerds, it's time to skip ahead to chapter 40.
So I think that guy is their Malcolm Merlin.
Yeah. They won't cut the
Dude
video now,
just shows
but
up out of nowhere.
if you guys want to watch the rest, make sure you look it
Hey,
up
Infinite
on
Jest.
YouTube. It is quite hilarious. Anyway, so that's my little news, just fun little blurb about Echo, and yeah, that's all I got for you.
Oh, I
Have? Oh, go ahead.
One thing that I think is super interesting, maybe not incredibly newsy, we discovered last night that apparently on Earth 2, there is not a Suicide Squad movie coming out in August because Floyd Lawton exists.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was fun. That's all
Great.
I got.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's nope. So Floyd Lawton, Deadshot, who no longer exists on Earth 1 because there is a Suicide Squad movie coming out.
A Suicide Squad.
a squats movie. Joker and Deadshot do squats. There's a Suicide Squad movie coming out on our Earth, so they had to kill him off. But on Earth 2, he is in fact, Floyd Lawton is a police officer who got the nickname Deadshot, ironically, because he is the worst shot on the force.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He's like Red versus Blue Church levels of terrible aim. Point blank
Insanely
and
bad.
miss.
So what are you going to say in the
amazing.
chat?
Oh, actually, Vixen in 2 weeks. Live action Vixen. So excited.
Which is
In
great,
Arrow.
and it's really cool to see how quickly that happened.
Oh, yeah. And there's going to be a season 2, which I assume is going to be another cumulative 30 minutes long.
Of the
so it's more of an
animated series.
episode 2, but yes. We have iTunes reviews because you guys are lovely human beings and you left reviews like we asked. One is from Berserk X Spence, my distraction from work. You guys are amazing. Every day I deliver pizzas, I listen to you guys. Actually makes the day a little bit better. 5 stars all day, every day.
Yeah.
Aww.
And great after show by Marukas. Love the show. Love hearing everyone's point of view. I feel like you guys are taking the words right out of my mouth sometimes. Keep up the good work. Do you want them back?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel guilty taking all of the words.
Seriously, you guys, thank you so much for leaving reviews. Thank you for rating 5 stars. This is how we get people on the podcast. This is how you let our producers know that, hey, we like these people and they're doing a good job. And of course, if you leave a review, you get a shout out on the show because seriously, we adore you guys.
We do.
Thank you.
That's true.
Like the Earhart. Like the Earhart.
Heart.
All right,
Do
guys,
it
let's
way
get
up here because my microphone's really
let's get
small.
to predictions.
And now,
Oh,
Did we lose the audio?
Oh, it's back.
There we go.
There we go.
Took it again.
your AFTERBUZZ TV
Predictions.
I love that the light show in this studio is pink. It's great.
Well, next week we have Hive showing up with Demolition. Is that what they said that the
A
group
demo
was called?
team?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was like the Demolition Squad. Something like that.
We'll have to check
and
a reference for
basically
that.
they're blowing up the building around them. This looks like some form of action movie. Like I don't know which one I'm thinking
It's
of.
a little bit like The Raid, but more stuff blows up.
I have a prediction, guys.
Let's hear it.
Okay. Totally irrelevant to Hive and the Demolition Squad that I just brought up, sorry. But this whole situation with Thea and the Lotus and it never being something that Malcolm has ever heard of before and Nyssa having a bag of tricks that she's, I don't know, tricking. Anyway, I feel like this solution is only temporary and that for, I don't know, maybe a good couple months, Thea will be thriving and kicking and then all of a sudden it's going to wear off and then Oliver's going to be like, damn, I should have listened to Malcolm.
See, I honestly, at this point, even though we have the whole, it's his child, this, that, and the other, I honestly think that we're going to get Thea in the grave because, for one, just because all of this for nothing, and that's the sort of thing this show would do.
Sure.
For another, I think that her being healed of her bloodlust has also removed her protection from Merlin. Wow. Dark's magic.
Possibly. I mean, I'm at a point where I've more or less given up even speculating who's in the grave. I think I'm just going to wait for them to.
Know.
I'm just going to wait for them to tell me.
Yeah.
But it does seem like we've spent so much time building up this illness, this building up her condition, retracting her condition, making it more severe, less severe, to just boop, it's gone. I don't see that being the case.
Deus ex bottle.
Yeah, I just don't see that being the case. I feel like it's another thing that we can't, not much like the League of Assassins being disbanded, it's something that we can't fail to address going forward.
It's going to have a side effect.
It has to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was important enough that there was a whole other order dedicated to protecting it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Tauri, do you have any predictions for us?
Yes, just a quick one that is not on that subject. I think that the thing that Ryder is going to find, the thing that he needs the map for, is going to end up being the idol that Dark is worshipping or using for his power.
Interesting.
This thing that are we referring
prediction.
to the tile thing that we saw the one time?
Yes.
That
Possibly.
I think a couple of people in the chat were like, is that possibly a mother box? I don't know that it is, but that'd be amazing.
That would be crazy.
We haven't seen that in weeks.
Yeah.
We haven't, but now in a world where, side note, but it is relevant, in a world where, like, again, last night, where last night on The Flash, they kicked the dam down completely as far as the multiverse, I feel like maybe we're culturally ready to introduce mother boxes in Apocalypse and the New Gods.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of kick, I think we're getting kicked off the air right now. So
like
we're
it.
going to go ahead and sign off. And thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. If you were in the live chat, thank you. And if not, don't worry. You can catch us next week. I'm Alikona Bradford. Find me at Boys and Beauty 01. Please find me on YouTube, Boys and Beauty with Alikona. I do fun bathtub informational videos. I've had a few new subscribers. If it's any of you guys, thank you. And if it's not, to make sure you subscribe right now. Go.
I only watch bathtub videos when they're informational.
Yeah.
Lex Michael, all over social media at the Lex Michael. Now your turn.
Tauri J. Miller. You can find me at Tauri J. It's TauriJay.
I've learned so much about bathtubs from those videos. I'm joking. I'm Katie Cullen. You can find me on Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram at Kiaxet. That's Kiaxet. I am also on Snapchat at Kia Prime. I am on so many of the shows. The Ruby season finale is at 6 p.m. on Thursday next week. Do not miss that. It's going to be wild. We're going to make Miles and Carrie account for their sins. Also, I'm going to be at Gallifrey 1 this weekend in Los Angeles. If you are there, come by, say hi, get a ribbon.
All right, guys, it was a splendid evening or morning or afternoon whenever you're watching us, and we will see you next time. Mwah! Good night.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.